Take Your Daughter to Work Day is the 18th episode of the second season of The Office. This is directed by Victor Nelli Jr. And as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. And this sounded like it was going to be different, like it was going to be really fun, and I'm pleased to say it has a lot to offer. It starts off with Pam putting candy out. She wants to connect with the children. Michael, not quite as excited about this because, well, Michael's style of humour isn't exactly appropriate around children, but Michael's very interesting in this one. We have various children. Kevin brings his fiance's daughter, Stanley's brought his daughter, Meredith's brought her son, and various kids end up spending time with various people. Abby bonds with Jim over a book that she's reading, and maybe I'm reading too much into this, but Pam definitely gave Jim a look of he would make a great father. And considering Pam had talked about how she wants to connect with the kids because she's getting married and presumably will have kids, it was a nice little moment. Michael is entertaining Sasha with his train whistle, and there was definitely a moment of recognition with him that he can actually communicate with children, which is not what he was suggesting at the beginning of the episode. It's not going as well for Dwight because he ends up being called Mr. Poop, which is very funny. And one of the kids asks Phyllis, "Are you Mother Goose?" Which made me laugh so much because now I can't unsee it. She would make a great Mother Goose. And Stanley's daughter was flirting with Rainn, which was really uncomfortable, but I think the episode handled it really well. And it was nice to have an older child in there because a lot of them are much younger, and it was uncomfortable, but it was a nice variety. Also just realised they probably should be in school, unless it's half term or something. I don't know, very strange. Either way, it was an uncomfortable part of the episode, but they handled it very well. And by handled it, I mean basically Stanley was just shouting at Rainn, which is pretty much exactly the way I thought it would have went. The kids are then learning a little bit about Dunder Mifflin and how they make the paper, and they learn that actually the manufacturer makes the paper, sends it to Dunder Mifflin, and then they send it out to other people. Basically, they're the middleman, and as they say, it's not fair that they then sell it to other people for a higher price, which is, well, it's true, but that's pretty much exactly how sales works, and laying it out like that does seem a little bit unfair, but as Dwight pointed out, they have better customer service. Creed is about to then show the children his feet, and Michael says that they're not going to see the four-toed Creed, which is an absolutely brilliant name. I thought that was fantastic. And then Michael makes the kids laugh some more by playing them a clip from Fundle Bundle, which is apparently based on a show called Hachi Malachi, which I've never heard of, but Michael was on this show as a child, and in the show he declares that he wants to be married and have 100 kids, so he'll have all of these friends. And one of the kids pointed out to him when he said he didn't get married, he didn't have kids, "You didn't get to be what you wanted to be." Which was a little emotional, because none of us wants to think that our childhood dreams won't come true. But at the same time, I think that's okay. I think it's okay to no longer have the same dreams you did as a child. Granted, Michael clearly does still want to be married with kids, but I think they missed an opportunity for somebody to at least say, it's okay to not become what you wanted to be, because dreams change, and that's absolutely fine. But it's clearly weighing on Michael's mind. He asks Toby if it's too late for him to have kids, and I don't know if they'll do anything with this. I'm keen to find out what happens, but Michael does end up signing to an online dating service. I doubt it will go well, because his screen name is Little Kid Lover. And what I really like about this, and I've noticed this with The Office quite a bit, is that there will be, well, I say jokes, inappropriate things that are shockingly funny, or funnily, entertainingly shocking, is that they don't sit with it for too long. He didn't say his screen name is Little Kid Lover and then we just have nothing to give the viewer, the audience, time to catch up with the joke and laugh at it. We move on very quickly, and that pacing is really effective, and I think it works really well. Pam ultimately does end up bonding with a child. She bonds with Meredith's kid, because she shows him the shredder, and I have to say, shredders are pretty cool. And then it ends with Dwight and Michael playing the guitar and singing, and it's definitely a very different episode. obviously having the kids there gives it a very different atmosphere, and it was a nice way to involve a lot of the characters as well. Basically everybody had at least something to say. There was also one moment, I didn't write it in my notes, but there was one moment where Dwight was speaking down to one of the kids, calling him a latchkey kid, and I believe it was Meredith's kid, if I'm not mistaken, and he'd obviously put the kid in his place, and Angela gave Dwight a little smile, and then she quickly looked away. But a few scenes before this, Angela had said she wouldn't mind having two well-behaved boys, and I think she liked the fact that Dwight took no nonsense from that kid. So that was an interesting moment as well. In general, I can't fault it. I thought Take Your Daughter to Work Day was a pretty decent episode of The Office.